And the plant fabrication will is taking place in international factories, specialists, and gets delivered to be put onto the land after the bulk earthworks. And then mining starts. There's no overburden on this pit, so there's mining can start in 2027.
Hello, you're watching Proactive. I'm joined by KEFI Gold and Copper Executive Chairman Harry Adams. Harry, very good to speak with you. You reported in October that the debt of $240 million was approved, and you've now reported that the detailed documents have been signed. What's the significance of this, really?
Well, to an experienced project developer, last October, I think, was it. One would have said this is done. And knowing who was in our team and our experience, you would have said, well, this is done. But most of our 5,000 approximately shareholders are not experienced project developers. So we adopt a more how to put it, a transparent or detailed reporting, to help them follow us more precisely, given they're not perhaps familiar with the processes involved. So to me, it was done last October. But there's probably a lot of shareholders out there who thought, well, now it's done, and each to their own specialities, but that's the reason.
You reiterated that more than enough equity capital has been assembled, but not all yet closed formally, Harry. Can you explain why these steps are one step at a time rather than all done and dusted faster and all together?
That's a good question, and because obviously everybody just wants to get it done as fast as possible. But if we had gone to finalise our equity arrangements before our debt was committed, we would have had less choices. We would have had harder pricing. Terms would have been much tougher, and we convinced our banks to commit first in order to, if you like, bring more choices to the table, add better pricing, and do a better job for shareholders. So, it might have added more time, but the sequence, I believe, we've always made clear. And the logic of the sequence is what I just said, to get the best deal possible, knowing that the debt's in the bag. And the debt is 70% of development, right? So to finish off the rump of a 30% component, we just wanted to get the best job done, if you like, for KEFI.
In the meantime, Harry, what's happening on the ground, and when can we see photos of physical progress?
Yeah, well, it's the essence of the Tulu Kapi kickoff is a bit frustrating, if you like. You don't see photos on the ground of bulldozers because the ground is occupied by people and you have to resettle them. Most gold projects are not like that. They don't have people living on them. So you can't just go in there and start bulldozing. So the first things the things that are happening on the ground today are electricity connection works in the local centre, going down the pathway towards Tulu Kapi. It's physical works, but it's not on site, so to speak, as yet. New access roads to the site from the bitumen highway, the A4, not on the site, but heading to the site. House land clearing for house construction, which is about to start in the local village, where there's a new subdivision being set up with new, schooling and health facilities for the people, and they're all moving to this local area. That's in train. The bulk earthworks on the site itself will start after the resettlement of the first phase, and those bulk earthworks will be in a couple of months, and the plant fabrication is taking place in international factories, specialists, and gets delivered to be put onto the land after the bulk earthworks. And then mining starts. There's no overburden on this pit, so there's mining can start in 2027. So photos. There'll be plenty of photos next month We have a security policy of not publishing faces of all the community and everybody involved. But when it's all rolling full steam ahead with lots of people working, in the next month, that'll start to flow as well.
Switching focus to Saudi Arabia, how did your visit last week finish up, Harry? We've seen lots of news flow from the Future Minerals Forum, which many large investors and mining companies attended with you. No announcements from KEFI, though.
Well, just putting aside the question about announcements from KEFI for the moment, it is quite astounding to someone who's been in this mining industry for so long and has been involved with developments and I don't know, 9 or 10 successful developments, but most of them not many of them in good times, if you like, in the market, taking quite a lot of perseverance and determination to get them developed. That's been the story of most of my career. And here we are today. You walk around a 6-star convention center in Riyadh, hundreds of very wealthy institutions and family offices walking around looking for a way in to the industry. More money than there are projects. Quite astounding, really. And so that's quite it just knocks you off your feet compared to the typical atmosphere of mining conferences where you've got people, running around trying to raise money to do what they need to do. Over there, it's no shortage of capital, if I put it that way. That's the astounding thing about the Future Minerals Forum. Saudi has successfully promoted itself, and it's sort of very exciting and more money than projects to invest in, where our success stands out a mile because there haven't been other discoveries. Anyhow, you asked about our JV Gold and Minerals company. We foreshadow that there'll be a gold development coming up. There will be. There'll be a second one in the not too distant future after that. There will be, and we've talked about this publicly in the stand there, so I can say so. There's no official announcement yet, but we were there with our new joint venture partner, another major has come in to be part of all of this. So it's all going very, very well, and quite a different atmosphere for the reasons I was describing from the point of view of capital markets, and it's the boom, if you like, that's taking place has only reinforced that atmosphere there.
Harry, I hope you'll keep us updated on progress on all those projects, as well as those photographs from Tulu Kapi. Thank you very much for your time today.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Harry Adams, Executive Chairman of KEFI Gold and Copper.